Hey guys, this is 9odd and welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Walmart exclusive Retro Headmasters Skullcruncher. This is the third and final figure of the wave. Technically Hardhead is also part of wave 2, but he's from wave 1 as well. Skullcruncher was one of the figures I was actually really excited to talk about. He's pretty cool. This figure did, much like Highbrow, this figure did kind of disappoint me in the sense of like there's not enough. I feel like this isn't different enough. But anyways, before we get into this, I want to kind of talk about this figure just a little bit. It is a repaint slash slight retool, I guess. Depends on how you want to see it. Of the Titan's Return Skullcruncher. But it has the Takara Legends head. So, and as far as I can tell, all three versions of Skullcruncher, this one, the Titan's Return version, and the Legends version, they're all pretty similar. So it's kind of just pick which one you want. It's not like Brainstorm and Retro Brainstorm where they have completely different heads and their paint is actually fairly different. Same with the Legends version; it's fairly different. This one is pretty similar all the way around. Anyways, before we get talking about Skullcruncher himself, let's talk about the package. So, panning up, you can see it is the standard retro reissue box. You can see nice little window right there for Grax, his new Headmaster. Of course, the G1 artwork with the new head. Ages 8+. Transformers. Up top it says Transformers, Evil Decepticon. Pretty cool. On the side, we have pictures of Skullcruncher and Grax all up in there. Headmaster Skullcruncher. On the other side, more of the same. On the back, we have that classic picture of the 87 toy line with Skullcruncher, Function, Swamp Warrior. Autobots are like bad fuel, weak and greasy. He has a habit of grinding his teeth before he strikes, annoying his friends and tipping off his enemies. And of course, if you have one of those Earthrise red decoders, you can use that here, although you can kind of see boop, 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 boop. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool overall, and of course, on the bottom, just some more of the same of the stuff on the side. Yeah. Very nice package. As all the retro Headmaster boxes tend to be. So taking a quick look at the details on here, because while he is a beast mode, he does not have very much articulation. Unlike Weirdwolf, he has some wiggle at the claws, the front claws, and he has elbows there if you really want to use them. He has ball joints at the rear legs, if you want to use those, and his tail does waggle because it parts forms off, which before, anything about parts forming, I don't mind parts forming so much as long as it does something. His is the only one out of all the Headmasters that bothers me. Because I'm confused by it. He does have a bit of a twist here, which is kind of neat, to kind of get some like, rah, rah, whatever. And then, of course, as you've been seeing, he has a very articulated, ball-jointed crocodile head. So super articulate there, and then also nice painted teeth in silver, and he has a very spongy, it's very squishy, it's hard to show, tongue in there. And I want to say this is the first one where the teeth and tongue are separate colors, but I might be wrong. He's also the only one out of the whole wave. No, Mindwipe features it too, but he features the most rubberized part. Mindwipe has rubberized wings, but his Titan Master door is rubbery. And speaking of, let's just reach in there. His is a little hard to get because it's so deep in his back. But let's take a quick look at Grax. So there is Grax. Get a little look on him. Very nice looking, green and black, very cool. The red eyes, I believe. Folding him in half, you can see the nice gold, red, and black face. That's kind of a greeny or emerald color. So pretty nice looking there. And one thing that Skullcruncher has that a lot of the other characters in this wave don't have, he actually has Titan Master pegs on his paws, so you can his claws, so you can have like Titan Masters hanging out on a crocodile. You can also, open up his mouth and he can munch down on a Titan Master. Headmaster, whatever. Probably not Grax, because, you know, they're buddies or whatever. I'm just going to set Grax off to the side for this moment while we do some alt mode comparisons. So, there is him. Of course, as always, bring in my personal favorite figure from Titan's Return and the Retro Headmaster Wave, Brainstorm. See, they are... he's quite a bit longer than Brainstorm, mainly because of the tail. Bring in Earthrise Wheeljack. Quite a bit longer than Wheeljack. And lastly, let me grab him. Siege Optimus Prime, and we'll stick him on the other side. So you can see quite a bit larger than Siege Prime, which I kind of like. I kind of like that he's as big as he is in Beast Mode, because they are robots, you know? They're supposed to be these giant Cybertronian robots, so it makes sense that, well, not these ones, depending on your continuity. It makes sense that they would be big when compared to the vehicles. So that's that. So let's get down to transformation. Simply start by removing the tail, and this is the Titan Master vehicle, I guess, the Headmaster vehicle. You can just take one of them, and this is the only one where I believe you have to stick the arms forward for it to work. Is it you have to or you can't? I forget. This is... Okay, there we go. So you pop him in there, he snaps into place, and then you take the gun, and it slots in right there. And there you have, like, a sled thing. It's kind of the same thing as, like, what Brainstorm has, where it's just, like, this little skipper skid thing. But either way, detach these, and then I like to flip out this peg right there. So then we'll set that off to the side, and we'll take Grax and set him off to the side as well. So now what we do is we simply untab the crocodile head right there, and it comes up at 2 points. It comes back here, and it moves ever so slightly back right there. So boom, boom. And you fold that back. And then you come over here, and you can see the retro detailing right there. I know I didn't really go over the paint, but he has some nice silver paint right there. And he has his retro details on his legs right there, which sadly get covered up by the crocodile legs when you tuck them in. And as you can just tell, they popped apart just by me kind of jostling them. And we'll get into that. But anyways, yeah, so the legs will split, and you want to bring them forward. Now, they will snap into place at this point right here, right there. So you want to just go. Mine's a little loose right there, so soft click, and then mine will make a more verbal click here. There we go. And then you just want to flip down his little toes. He has very, very small toes. Just want to flip them down. And then from there, bend back the claws. Flip out the hands. Very simple. Boop, boop. And then bring down the arms. So you'll rotate that just a bit and swivel that into place. Same thing on the other side. Rotate the arm and swivel the hand. Bring that down. And there we have Skullcruncher in his robot mode. Oh, gotta boop. There we go. And what would a robot be without his head? So we will simply flip Grax and snap him into place. And I gotta say, I really like the way that Skullcruncher looks. I'm a big fan of his color scheme, but you can kind of see my big problem with him. It's that his legs on my copy are fairly loose, and I have the same issue with Chrome Dome. My Chrome Dome's legs are really loose. They've just been that way ever since I got him. He's one of two of the Retro Headmasters that I have that I'm kind of like, oh boy, I gotta fix that. But overall, he looks really cool. His transformation is okay. Now, I did have a actual issue where this leg doesn't snap in all the way for some reason. Like, it snaps. It clicks into place, but it's not as tight as I'd like it to be. He also had a bunch of extra plastic, and you can kind of see where I've picked away at it on his knee. As far as articulation goes, of course, he has the Titan Master head waggle and a little bit of ball joint. Not very much, mostly just a swivel. He has ball joints at the shoulders, like most of the figures in the wave, so then go all the way around. They don't come out very far, but they do that. They butterfly okay. They come in pretty nicely. But he does have that extra joint up there, so he can get his arm out. He has a upper bicep swivel, which is very cool. A 90-degree elbow. And then he has a wrist swivel, which is pretty cool, just below the elbow. So that's pretty nice. That does put him a little bit above the curve of a couple other characters in this line. He does have a waist swivel, which is nice. That's pretty good. And then he has ball jointed hips, as you guys have seen. He has a mushroom peg on his thigh for the swivel, and then he technically has double jointed knees because of transformation. So if you untab it, you can get a really nice deep knee. But other than that, it is meant to be a 90-degree knee. And he of course has the cut A stance, the Titan's Return pre-cut A stance, which is nice. So it does make him stand pretty naturally. The only problem is that you have to kind of crook his knees because he has no real heels and he has this giant crocodile head hanging off the back. Now, I don't know if this can store... No, it can't. Wait, can that fit? You can store the tail on the back. That's cool. I wonder if that's literally what that's meant for. This white peg, because I have no clue what this white peg is for. Anyways, like I was saying, for accessories, he does have his crocodile tail and his blaster, and so we can just give him those. Now, there's a couple different ways he can hold the crocodile tail. He can either hold it like this, he can hold it like this, or there's this white peg, like I mentioned, that the instructions don't really mention, and he can do the same thing, or I guess you could use it to store it on his back using the crocodile head. I typically have him like that. That's how I display him. So that's just me. Let's do some comparisons. Of course, much like last time, as always, we'll compare him to my personal favorite Headmaster figure, Brainstorm. See, they're about the same size. Bringing in Siege Sound Blaster, another Headmaster's character. Very cool. See how he scales with that. And I think this is about right. Soundwave was always a bit of a bigger Decepticon, so Sound Blaster being bigger makes perfect sense. And here he is with Weird Wolf. He's a bit taller than Weird Wolf. And his other Decepticon Headmaster cohort, Mindwipe. And he's also a bit taller than Mindwipe. So, but there they are. Don't they look great together? No, I don't have 8-Face and Snapdragon because I don't really count them. But yeah, they look amazing together in their wacky colors. But yeah, that is Retro Headmaster Skullcruncher. A very cool figure. If I fix the hips and trim that up a bit more, he'll definitely be a bit better. But just out of the box, he is a bit flimsy. He was one of the ones I was more excited for. I was probably most excited. I was most excited for Highbrow, but this Weird Wolf ended up being my favorite of Wave 2. But this one is probably a close second just because his transformation is kind of fun. I do like the leg flip and the snap and the clicks and the way that you have to kind of arch the elbow, the shoulders to get the crocodile head to snap in. And also his alt mode is really fun, that being a crocodile. But yeah, so with that all said, thank you guys for watching. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below and I will see you in the next video.